Hello, and welcome to season 2 of Writing Escapades. My name's David Rawding, and today on the episode, we're going to talk about summer reading. I'm going to talk about some of the books I've been reading, some of the books I've been rereading, and I'm doing it today from the backyard. So there's a little wind. It might be a windy day. There'll probably be some birds and some planes and stuff like that, but it's nice. It's really nice outside, so I wanted to try filming this outside. So we'll see if my microphone does okay and the video stays fine. But let's get it going. Let's get it started. So it is really nice out today. So that's kind of why I wanted to do this today outside. We are on the tail end of summer. We're starting fall. And yeah, I'll take every last nice day I can get outside because I love it outside. And I spend a lot of time outside. I've actually been doing a lot more filming for my other channel. My other channel is called Seaside Nomad, and it's basically where I go outside and I do fishing, I do kayaking, explore, that kind of stuff. So I've got this channel for my writing side of my life, and I've got Seaside Nomad for the outdoor side of my life. So I'm running 2 YouTube channels, and I've got the podcast as well. And before I get into what I've been reading this summer, I also want to give my buddy, who's also in my writing group, a plug. His novelette, it's about a 20-page novelette. It's on Amazon. It's called Run Fire. I'll put a link in the description. It's basically this cool subterranean world. So if you want a quick dive into a cool subterranean story, it's 99 cents. It's on Amazon, and it'll help Ian out. This is his first thing he's ever published, and he's proud of it. And I got to read the first version of it, so it's pretty cool to watch somebody be able to get their stuff out there and get into the writing world. All right, what have I been reading? I've actually been rereading Terry Brooks. The most recent book I read was Witch's Brew, but it's part of a Kingdom of Landover series. Magic Kingdom for Sale Sold is the first book, and there's several books in the series. It's super light, super fun, it's humorous, sometimes dramatic, and it's just kind of a good read. You don't have to think too hard. You just kind of let the story unfold, and it's fun, and it's a nice little dive into a fantasy world. Speaking of rereading, I'm rereading The Wheel of Time, and I just finished The Fires of Heaven. So this is by Robert Jordan and later by Brandon Sanderson. But this series is huge. It's massive. It's a massive world. And I've read it before, and it follows several characters. You got Rand, you've got Perrin, you've got Matt, you've got Nynaeve, you've got Egwene, you've got Elaine, and then there's just so many other characters that all become really huge and start to really grow, and you get a lot of development, which is why there's so many books in this series by Robert Jordan and later by Brandon Sanderson. He ended up finishing the series. So it's really good. I recommend it to people. The first book is called The Eye of the World, and The Wheel of Time it's a huge monster, but it's a really cool fantasy series that just explores different things. And I think it's different than a lot of other series where, for the most part, in this world, the women have the power. They're the Aes Sedai, which can basically wield, a magic flow, weaves. They kind of have the power, and men do not. And it's interesting to see how this dynamic plays out and how power is kind of taken and given, and what happens to men that get some sort of power. So yeah, it's really cool. I recommend it, and yeah, if you haven't read it yet, I would go for it. It's been around for a while, but it's really interesting, and it just explores a massive world. So it's kind of like, I don't know, maybe a lighter Game of Thrones. Like there's definitely some battles and some blood and some gore, but for the most part, it's not as gory or as graphic as Game of Thrones. It's not as grimdark. And don't get me wrong, I love grimdark. Joe Abercrombie is one of my favorite authors, which is super grimdark, like dark stuff. So I love that stuff too. But this is kind of just nice and lighter. I don't know. It's really cool. And as you get more into the books, it does kind of start to become a little bit more political and power driven and less action scenes. And yes, it has been a good summer for reading, and I've been doing some audiobooks, and I have been working through Jim Butcher's series, The Dresden Files. I really like these books. This is the first time for me. They've been around for a while, but I really enjoy watching Harry Dresden as he does his thing, you know. He's got his cool trench coat, his hat, his blasting rod. He's got all these quirks. He's got his little skull named Bob, who's basically a computer, but also like a kind of perverted, like, you know, a spirit inhabiting a skull. He's probably Bob is my favorite character for sure. He's cool. So I just finished book 3 of Jim Butcher's Dresden Files series. Um, the first book was Stormfront. The second book was Full Moon, and then the third book is Grave Peril. I mean, it's kind of funny. I mean, the narrator is fantastic. He really uses kind of breathy sounds, and it's something I'd love to emulate at some point. But guy is great. He is so good. I would definitely recommend listening to the audiobooks with the Dresden Files. I mean, you get just as fun of a story if you read it, but having the narrator just really give you that cool sound, you know, it really makes you feel like you can just kind of listen and almost like watch a TV show, because it's each book isn't super long, you know. The narration probably only goes about 11 hours or so, and it's just very enjoyable to listen to. So I would definitely recommend Harry Dresden, the Dresden Files, Jim Butcher, and I've done the first 3 books now, and it's cool. It's basically this guy who is working out of Chicago. He is a wizard. He's a wizard for hire. He's not hiding it. It's his contemporary world, contemporary, you know, urban fantasy stuff. He lives in a world where there are, you know, vampires and there are zombies and there are werewolves, and these things are normal. But they're just below the surface of what everybody sees. And he's a wizard for hire. He's got Murphy, who's his kind of foil. She's a tough cop, and they work together, and it's interesting. It's really cool. So that's the stuff I've been reading this summer. I've been doing the Dresden Files. I've been rereading The Wheel of Time. Oh yes, I've also been reading through Harry Potter. I'm on the Deathly Hallows. It's definitely getting a little bit more dark. I'm probably the last person in the world that hasn't read all the Harry Potter books, but I'm getting there, guys. I'm getting there. I'm almost done. Harry's getting there. Yeah, so I've been doing a lot of audiobooks, which are great. Definitely in the summer when I'm at the beach or going for a walk or wherever. It's great to have that audiobook to listen to. So in regards to season 2 with Writing Escapades, I'm going to actually change it up a little bit. So since I've got the second YouTube channel, Seaside Nomad, where I'm doing my outdoor stuff, and this channel and the podcast, I am going to have 1 episode a month of Writing Escapades, unless I'm doing an interview. If I'm doing an interview, I will go back to 2 episodes a month. This is just so I can make sure that I can keep up with it. I don't want to just like phone it in with you guys. I want to definitely talk about writing. I want to interview some authors, industry professionals, those types of things. And I want to keep that stuff coming, but I want to make sure I can still keep up with it. So yeah, so look for having 1 episode of Writing Escapades a month, the podcast to YouTube, unless I do an interview. In that situation, I will cut that interview in half. They're usually about an hour or so. I'll cut that in half and I'll put the 2 episodes out a month. That way I can keep up with it, and I want to keep going. This is kind of like my hobby, and this is my, I don't know, I get a kick out of it. I like talking about writing, and I like talking to you guys, and talking about books, narrating, that kind of stuff. So this has been fun shooting from the outside. I don't know how well the video and audio worked out because the wind has been pumping, but yeah, we gave it a whirl. I'm not sure I'll be doing too many more episodes outside, but maybe I will. I don't know. It's great that the weather's still holding out and still good. So it's New England. We've got seasons, and fall's coming. So if you want to find my books, they're available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, anywhere online where books are sold, audiobooks, ebooks, print, paperback, whatever you like. You got Taking on Water, and you've got Redemption Grove. And check out Seaside Nomad, link in the description. It's my other outdoor YouTube channel. And that's it, guys. That's all. I will talk to you later.